Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the Avengers, issue 33, 2023. That is a great cover there, showing the Avengers and the Twilight Court. So, Return of the Twilight Court. Flippy. Now, the Avengers don't factor into this. We get more of understanding of how the Twilight Court got to its place, and their whole kind of relationship with the Impossible City, even bringing in the Ashen Combine. So if you're looking for the Avengers in this, we have to wait a little bit. Yeah, Twilight. So this is mainly just linking it up. I mean, we're getting our big-ass issue. This is Legacy issue 799, so we're going to get a lot of big shit going on in the next one. So this is kind of a nice little palette cleanser kind of thing. Pirate Timeline 20208. Manticore Green. Then, I have failed you all. I was the eldest of our number. I was designated your king, the new beginning of the Twilight Court. I served our creator, Mastodon, as I had been designed to do. He showed his faithlessness, cast us aside, let the Grand Master exile us to this dying world and a dying reality. I served our creator's interests when I should have served yours, my knights. I have failed you. I am your king no longer. And I like that for Artur. And I really like seeing this big kind of thing here. Pretty much celestials and shit kind of going down. And then zooming in on his hand right there in that panel. And then seeing them kind of arrayed like that. No, my king. Do not say that. He is right, Lancelot. Artur failed us. Do not say that, Mordred. Hold, Lancelot. Hey. Ha. So it's to be mutiny, Bedivere. Bersalak. To me, Galhot. For the king, at your side, Lance, always. It's like, oh shit, of course we've got everybody kind of like freaking out about what's going on, but Artur did fail them. Love how we're seeing the energy weapon there with the art and everything. It's just like, yes. Peace, Lance. My knights with blades drawn at one another, do not compound my failures. Let the perfect knight be our judge in this matter. I beg your counsel, Parsifal. You failed us, my king. God's damn your traitor tongue, Parsifal, but no more than we failed ourselves. All of us. It's like, yeah, I get that. Mastodon told us the truth before he cast us away. He used us to further his base ambitions, but our failure was our blindness to one simple fact. We were not created to be minions. We were created to be heroes. We were created to be the Avengers. It's like, interesting. Let's see how you go with this. Very much going in a kind of cap roll here. So, noble Twilight Court, what would the Avengers do? They would survive, as they always do. They would triumph, as they always do. Gods, I do tire of you always being right, Parzival. But to survival and triumph, I am the witch, which means I see how things come apart. This timeline is coming apart. Something happened here recently. Whatever was holding this world together no longer exists. Entropic forces are rising dangerously. It's like, oh yeah, you better kind of deal with that. Then our path is clear. We must escape this doomed timeline. Alright, cool. Linking up, doing the kind of leader stuff that needs to be done. And I believe that spacecraft is our best chance to do so. Shaped like a sword? Okay, let's do it. Ho ho, of course. Just like the Pendragon, your namesake. You cannot see a sword without wishing to draw it from a stone, my king. Which is actually kind of cool, linking it up like that with all the wizardry and stuff. King no longer, please, sweet Galhot. From this point, we are equals, a true round table. I like that. Let's see how this works. Well, if we are to become a democracy, then I vote that we hurry, for if we are to be heroes to match the Avengers, we must be alive to do so. Yes, I kind of agree with that. Shortly. Can it be done, Bedivere, Bersalak? As the engineer in the construct, an undue burden lies with you. I believe so. It has been long since this craft has crossed space or time. But with the technologies Bersalak and I have at our disposal, we have a chance. Bersalak's nanoswarm is rearranging the ship's executive AI. Rebooting. Hello? What has happened? Lancelot is kickstarting the ship's reactors with her energy powers. And she pretty much is like going, wow, wow. And it's like, there's like, what's going on? Mordred is catching catastrophic structural failures before they happen. Which is kind of cool, where the one that's supposed to have things come apart is being used to find those things. And then, while Parzival and Galhot ensure that they do not. Teaming up with others. That's good teamwork. I'm liking this with the Twilight Court. It all comes to you, my Artur. The corpse we found here in the control room. Of course, being pretty much another Kang dressed up like Doom with some Infinity Stones. What happened back here? Go all the way back to timeless 2021 issue 1. And these things that were his eyes. You called them Infinity Stones. According to my database, yes. The Time Stone and the Reality Stone. Very helpful there. They gain control of their respective domains, but require a will to master them. King you may not be, Artur, by your own decree, but you possess a greater will than any of us. One great enough to cast aside a crown and throne. Yes, I actually agree with that, because he's like, I fucked up, and I shouldn't be your king, so screw this shit. Then he pauses for a beat. Artur to the Twilight Court. I address you as my knights, not because I am your king any longer, but because as you are mine, so I am yours. My peers, my friends, my beloved equals. We are all that each of us has anymore. I have failed you before, my knights, but I swear to you I will not fail you now. Ship, on my mark, execute timeline jump. Yes, yes, of course. And I kind of like that. I like that he goes from knights to all these, and he's like, I failed you, but we are all that we have. It's like, okay, that's cool. And him learning like that and leaning on them, mark. And then that is beautiful there. Seeing that kind of swordship just jump out in all the colors and everything. Yeah. And good stapling, no loose pages. As we then see the Twilight Court dealing with the aftermath. Bedivere, did we make it? Will we survive? I think so, Artur. I hope you're correct. Our Infinity Stones are no more, as they're pretty much just like, I like the close-up there, as they're like crumbled there. According to the data available to me, this is indicative of a successful D-shift. Infinity Stones only function in their own universe. Yep. Thank you, ship. Identify yourself, please. I am what remains of the executive AI for Damocles' base flagship of Kang the Conqueror. Interesting how it works out like that. Kang. A different timelines Kang, of course. But I'm not that anymore. I am a new thing born from the old. Kind of like the ship of Theseus. Like us, a lost tool, no longer having a master, free to choose their own path. Perhaps both we and you might find that path together. I think I would like that. But as a new being, what name should I take? What else could we call our home? I dubbed thee Camelot. It's like really cool. I'm like, yeah, I like that kind of look there. So this is what's kind of going on, and I like that it was first Damocles, and then Camelot, and then the Impossible City before coming back to it towards the end. My knights, we have survived, albeit lost in time, and cast across the multiverse. We are our own masters now. What shall we make of ourselves? And I kind of like that the Impossible City, Camelot, is its own character. It's not just something in the background. It's like, okay, let's see what's going on here. We must be what we were created to be, Artur. Champions of the weak, righters of wrongs, defenders of the innocent, heroes. Then let us quest, my knights, the Twilight Court and Camelot. This was how I was born. And it's like, that's cool. That's a really kind of cool moment. I really like that, and it really endears me to the Twilight Court here. And which is kind of cool that we had them introduced as just these things that Kang was going to throw away, and they're like, nah. Camelot, 8 years later, the end of the Twilight Court. My knights, we were created to be heroes, patterned after the Avengers. In the years since we began to pursue our destiny, we have had our triumphs. When the arch haruspex of war tried to spill the organs of an entire civilization to discern the sanguine future, we stood against him and prevailed. When the Legion of Everblack tried to extinguish all the suns in the galaxy, it was the Twilight Court who thwarted them. And when the Ashen Combine sought to murder cities for sport, we struck them down. It's like, okay, cool there. We have fought impossible odds in the pursuit of justice, of life, time and again, and we have triumphed every time, but this will not be among them. The ambassador is a foe we cannot defeat. It's like, what the fuck-ass shit is that? Great art, just like, really weird. Oh, I don't know about that, ... Permit me my bravado, Bersalak. We fly to battle with the navies of every civilization in this star system. It will not be enough. But our victory lies not in defeating the ambassador. In each moment we fight, thousands will make their escape from this system. Each life saved, a victory. I like his look on that. 1,000 victories in each moment. How fortunate we are, Twilight Court. Even if they die, just saving people, that's a victory. One life. 1,000 victories in a moment. 1,000 moments we pledge. 1,000 victories, Artur. Few heroes could ask for more. I agree, Camelot. The shadow of our role models has always lain large across us, especially you, Camelot. I cannot help notice that as we rebuilt you, you have become the very image of the Impossible City, a place we visited only once. Of course, rings again because they visited the Impossible City and then they made it. But if this be the end of the Twilight Court, then I am joyful, for we were created in that shadow of heroes, and in this moment we are finally the equal of them. I would agree so. Very cool there. And I love how the paneling goes big and then small and then kind of bigger again towards the bottom for that thing. In this moment, we are Avengers. This was how I lost my family. And I agree. This page, I love the colors and everything. It's just, and the movement. Days later, auxiliary power engaged. System rebooting. Hello? Artor? Bedivere? Galahad? Mordred? Berselak? Lancelot? Anyone? Twilight Court, please. You cannot leave me alone. Oh, do not worry, Camelot. As we go through the Impossible City before seeing the Ashen Combine's prison. And, of course, them speaking. You are most certainly not alone. No! No! And then that's an effective one there, seeing the Ashen Combine arrayed. We get the... There. Try to get the glare off. They scourged my systems. They caged my mind. They burned out memory banks until I could no longer remember the names of my creators, their faces, could not see if they walked my very deck plates. They bound me to their commands and to their superstructure. And to the superstructure they grew upon me, and they made me complicit in their murderous works. This was how I lost myself. I'm sorry, Camelot, Impossible City, and just seeing the Ashen Combine doing that stuff, I was like, no. Camelot, the Impossible City, 2 years and dozens of ruined worlds later. We have been too long traveling. My creative juices overflow. I require a new artistic project, Meridian Diadem, and I require a new children, City Smith, as we all require new fodder for our proclivities, which is why I've located a new dimension for us to sport with. An Earth? Yes, Earths always do represent such fun, Lord Ennui. Does this Earth have heroes? It's never sporting without heroes to kill. A good question, idle Alabaster. According to these intercepted transmissions, as we see them kind of talking together and everything going on. Earth orbit, then. Tribulation event, the fall of the Impossible City. They have many, foremost among them something called Avengers, and this was how I would be saved. It's like, that's a kind of cool thing there, and just seeing it kind of look like that. The Giant-Sized Legacy Issue 800, featuring an epic lead story by Jet and Farid Karami, and a bonus story to celebrate the milestone by Superstar Creative Team and Avengers alumni Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. We also get New Avengers Issue 7, Mortal Thor Issue 5, and Marvel Winter Break Special Issue 1, because we see that kind of look in it. So, I enjoyed this one, even though we were taking some time off of the main conflict with Mirrodin, Kang, and all that kind of going on. I liked looking into how the Twilight Court kind of like returns and how they kind of got back and how they kind of reformed themselves after Kang just shat him out to the Grandmaster and they got punted to the dimension like that. It is interesting that the Impossible City was not just the Twilight Court's kind of home base, but also the previous base of a Kang being like Damocles' base. And then it being turned into the Impossible City like that, and the Twilight Court pretty much going out in a blaze of glory to save as many lives as possible, very much being Avengers. So I hope that they're kind of included in the roster, even if they're like doing their own thing in other kind of dimensions. This was just really kind of cool, and I loved seeing Artor and the rest of the Twilight Court kind of work and have their own kind of, even though it's similar to stuff that we've seen with the Avengers, I like that Artor owned up to his mistakes and wanted it to be truly encompassing and not just someone making demands and orders, but seeing what was going on, seeing how they worked within their strengths to get through that situation of being in a dead and dying reality and getting out, and then the Ashen Combine taking over and getting us to where we are now, where the Impossible City Camelot pops back up with the Twilight Court to provide assistance to the Avengers and Hyperion of fighting Mirrodin Kang. So, we're setting up for a nice, great, big-ass issue for issue 800/34. I'm really excited for it and can't wait to see what happens next. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.